Welcome everyone to today's webinar, The Growth of Specialty Pharmaceuticals Using a Consignment Model as a Strategy for the Future, sponsored by Cardinal Health. I am Mackenzie Bean with Becker's Hospital Review. We will begin today's webinar with a presentation, and we'll have time at the end of the hour for a question and answer session. You can submit any questions you have throughout the webinar by typing them into your control panel in the space labeled Enter a Question for Staff and clicking Send. We are looking forward to hearing your questions. Additionally, in about a week following the webinar, we will be sending you a copy of the presentation to the email you used to register. At this time, it is now my pleasure to start today's webinar by introducing our presenters. John Kilgore is the National Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the Specialty Pharmaceutical Distribution business of Cardinal Health. John leads a team of sales and technology professionals who are focused on implementing innovative technology solutions that can help health systems operate more efficiently while delivering high-quality patient care. John has spent his entire career in healthcare and has business and management experience in pharmaceutical and medical surgical supply chain distribution. James Roof is the National Director of Consignment and Technology Programs at Cardinal Health. James is focused on the development of various inventory technologies, consignment growth strategies, and the Emergency Drug Response Program, which helps provide immediate access to life-saving treatments. He has had 19 years of experience with Cardinal Health Specialty Pharmaceutical Distribution and has held various leadership roles with responsibilities managing national accounts, group purchasing organizations, and manufacturer relationships. John, I'll now turn the floor over to you.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for participating on this call this afternoon and spending time with us. Let me start by saying that, of course, there are many aspects, to the landscape that we talk about here and that is presented before you. I've highlighted 4 categories, only 4. There are many more beyond what is described here. But I think that the 4 that I'd like to highlight are the ones that are identified in red. Let's just take a look at what we consider to be an ever-changing and complicated healthcare landscape. We'll start with those global demand swells, if you will. This point is to raise awareness around increasing demand driven by shifting demographics. People, of course, are living longer. Many have complex diseases that increase their healthcare needs, putting more demand on the healthcare system for sure. Jumping over to the power of generics and breakthrough innovation, the drug landscape is increasingly divided between the generics that are capturing almost 90% of the pharmaceutical volume and the specialty biopharma agents that represent the ever-growing portion of the dollar spent, nearly 50% by 2021. And we're going to talk a little more about that as we get into the presentation here. Next, if you jump over to care shifts to more efficient settings, this is all about getting the patient to the home. Given the transition to value-based care, providers, payers, and patients alike are all seeking ways to achieve desired outcomes for lower costs. Providing high-quality care outside of the walls of acute settings is a real key way these goals can be achieved. Here's an example. If a patient can successfully be discharged from a hospital directly to the home with appropriate and coordinated home nurse visit or caregiver support, that patient may be able to forego a costly stay at a skilled nursing facility. Now let's jump over to the other identified red bucket there, if you will, the value-based care. We hear more and more about value-based care all the time. And once you've heard one definition, you've probably heard one definition. We know that integrated risk-taking providers are leading a new shift to different payment models. Some providers have been proactive about taking risk, such as accountable care organizations, ACOs, payer-provider health systems, and those who volunteered for CMS's bundled payment for care improvement initiatives. Success has been varied and largely depends on the health systems to have visibility across the care continuum with infrastructure or partners to deliver that integrated care. Next slide, please. So it becomes quite obvious that specialty, that new specialty definition that we've all kind of grown accustomed to, will continue to drive market growth. Look at our recent history. In 2012, that specialty definition only occupied roughly 28% of the total spend. By 2016, 39%, and predictions by the end of 2021 to greater than 50%. So let's think about this for a moment. Specialty pharmaceuticals are outpacing the growth of traditional pharmaceuticals. By the year 2021, it's expected that half of the pharma industry spend will be on these specialty medications. 100 new drugs. Think about this. If we look at the R&D pipeline, majority of drugs are classified as specialty. We expect to see over 100 new specialty drugs available over the next 5 years. And within that, of course, is that space to be defined as biosimilars. So what are implications for hospital pharmacies? And of course, they are many. With regard to specialty pharmaceuticals, let's think about the following. Specialty pharmaceuticals may have low volume and unpredictable demand. These treatments are often higher in cost than the traditional pharmaceuticals, and we're all finding out about that very quickly. Usually, they're higher cost than traditional pharmaceuticals, higher inventory carrying costs, the risk associated, and the importance of managing all those expiration dates. With a higher invoice cost comes higher inventory carrying costs. If you choose to stock these products, hospital pharmacies simply can't afford to have specialty drugs expire and therefore write off those high cost drugs. Also, storing specialty pharmaceuticals in the correct conditions is additionally very important. They may be cold chain products, so having the proper refrigeration on those products will be required to ensure product integrity. So what does all this mean for hospital pharmacists today? Hospital pharmacists are being challenged to think differently. Remember, hospital CEOs all agree sustainable cost control is their #1 priority. 81% of hospital pharmacists cited reducing costs as a top priority in 2018. And productivity improvement was cited as the top labor management initiative hospitals will focus on over the upcoming year.
Okay, so as John shared previously, specialty drugs present unique challenges because they often have unpredictable demand, are high in cost, and require special storage conditions. Now, these unique challenges limit the inventory quantities facilities typically keep on hand, and as a result, in times of emergencies, facilities may not carry enough to treat that patient. So consignment is attractive to providers in 2 ways. Now, first and foremost, it helps elevate the level of patient care by providing immediate on-site access to life-saving specialty drugs. Providers with consignment are no longer restricting stocking quantities because they are no longer bound financially. So this allows them to properly prepare for emergencies. Second is obviously the financial benefits associated with consignment. So by converting to a consignment program, providers realize inventory carrying cost savings. Now, therefore, by transferring the financial burden to Cardinal, that will allow the provider to utilize those funds for other pharmacy initiatives. Initiatives like possibly investing in a much needed equipment or a new refrigeration unit, or maybe it's the addition of a new full-time employee. Another value of consignment is that it eliminates the product obsolescence or product outdating. So, by eliminating that and transferring that responsibility to Cardinal, rotation of that inventory is initiated and managed by the Cardinal consignment team. We will also proactively send you new products if the products on your shelf are coming up for expiration. In addition, recall products are managed in the same way. So you will receive proactive alerts for those recalled products, and the rotation of that inventory will also be managed by the Cardinal team. So, products will be invoiced according to your established reconciliation schedules. And if a customer is scheduled for a monthly reconciliation, that customer is also benefiting from the additional AR terms, the days of AR associated with whatever term limits they may have negotiated with the distributor. In addition, our consignment platforms offer automatic reorders that will occur based on your account settings, further minimizing time spent placing orders and freeing up that time to manage patients. So, when we talk about a cloud-based platform, really it's critical to ensure that consigned inventory is managed efficiently. And, consigned inventory, to include 340B products, can be tracked and traced using unique serial identification numbers within the cloud-based platform. Now, this also allows health systems to gain real-time visibility into inventory levels from anywhere and at any time. So, additionally, if there are multiple facilities within a network, consigned products can be transferred within the network, and that will further optimize product movements and limit the need for emergency orders. So you're also saving money on any emergency by limiting those emergency orders. And by simply adding consigned inventory to the cloud-based platform, we have several ways that you can do that. You can do that using a barcode scanner, a handheld barcode scanner. You can use that using a mobile app, which basically accesses the camera on either your phone or your tablet, and that is used to scan the product in and scan the product out, or automatically using the RFID cabinet. So basically, this allows you to view your inventory anywhere and anytime. So additionally, a cloud-based platform coupled with serialization techniques support DSCSA guidelines and product integrity initiatives, further elevating the level of patient care through a secure supply chain. So, there are many ways to pursue a consignment model, and we feel that a solution with RFID automation is the most efficient way to address the challenges presented by specialty drugs. Let's jump into the RFID cabinetry question. So, as John mentioned earlier during his presentation, improving efficiency is key in the area of focus in the pharmacy, and RFID can help with those optimization efforts. RFID cabinetry offers, there's no need for inventory managing from a manual perspective, and that not only does it eliminate the manual aspect of counting, but it also eliminates counting errors. And our RFID automation also allows pharmacy staff to focus more on that patient care, getting away from physically monitoring that inventory and giving them more time to focus on the patient. It also, best of all, actually, product information for the products that are stored within the RFID cabinet live in that cloud-based platform and are readily accessible. Now, products stored in the RFID cabinet are also monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you will see proactive alerts for those temperature shifts. This gives you high visibility into that inventory and allows you to further control and have that product integrity aspect of it. Now, the cabinets are also secure, so it gives the pharmacy leadership the ability to control who can access those high-cost specialty medications. And, last but not least, just think about all the time you and your staff can save if you don't have to count that inventory manually. So let's talk about a common misconception regarding RFID. The reality is the use of RFID in pharmacy is gaining traction because it's simple and it automates processes. Now, here's how it works. We have it mapped out here. Products arrive pre-tagged with an RFID-enabled chip that contains all the pertinent information associated with that product, like lot numbers, expiration dates, and that serial number that's unique to that product. You simply open the door and using the access badge, and once you either add or remove the product and close the door. When you do that, the scanning process is initiated. The unit will complete a scan of the inventory all the inventory in that refrigerator, and based on what you add or remove, the inventory levels will be automatically updated in the cloud-based platform. If you fall below your par level or that minimum, an automatic reorder will occur for you. So RFID has proven results in the healthcare industry, such as significantly increasing hospital workflow efficiencies by as much as 52%. It's been reported by some RFID enablers out there. Additionally, with RFID technology, health systems experience a reduction in shrinkage and write-offs due to accurate visibility to that inventory and the round-the-clock temperature controls. And as mentioned before, by eliminating those manual steps and processes, pharmacists have more time to focus on the patient. Now, an additional benefit that we'll cover here as well, we found with an RFID system, when it's coupled with a cloud-based platform, is that pharmacists no longer have to go physically check the product to get the assay size of that product or the lot number. That information is readily available to them through the cloud-based portal on their desktop or mobile app. They can do it right from their workstation in the pharmacy. Now, this slide really is, what better way to validate the value of an RFID consignment program than to share a customer success story. And, one of the many health systems we are proud to serve and that have adopted RFID consignment is BJC Healthcare. Now, BJC implemented the program because they were having difficulty in managing proper inventory levels, product outdates, and we're looking for a solution to help solve those problems and optimize the management of the high-cost specialty drugs. So BJC implemented consignment across 15 facilities in their system. Nearly half of those facilities are using RFID-enabled cabinetry, with the remaining sites using the cloud-based system using 2D barcode symbology in a hybrid fashion. So basically BJC, through their analysis of the consignment program, improved efficiencies, realizing labor savings costs. They also found decreased waste due to product obsolescence. They ensured proper inventory levels and lowered their inventory carrying costs. So as a result, BJC experienced a 5% cost avoidance for their expired products. And really, the success of this program not only is all the financial benefits with the consignment, but the flexibility in the program that's being used in a hybrid fashion with RFID and cloud-based, and hospitals using one unique platform to manage the entire inventory. And just, you can't forget that you have a consignment team backing up this platform or this program that's responsive and knowledgeable. So, we've talked about, the unique inventory challenges of specialty pharmaceuticals and shared how consignment may be a solution to help you with that budget control. So, we thought we'd put together a list of questions to help you determine if consignment, and really specifically if an RFID-enabled program is right for your facility. So, first question is, what is the, total cost of managing your inventory? Or how much time does your buyer spend counting, manually logging lot numbers and usage, and reordering? Typically you will term this as time and motion efficiencies for your employees in the pharmacy. Does your pharmacy struggle balancing too much versus too little inventory? You're managing budgets That may force you to limit the amount of drug you keep on the shelf. If you keep too much, you're affected. If you keep too little, you're at risk of not having enough to treat a patient in need. Not having enough also leads for the need for costly emergency shipments or transferring the patient to another facility. Definitely a challenging situation to be in for sure. Additionally, how much scrap is generated through your expired product? Think about the 5% savings realized by BJC. Your expiration cost may be higher. We've heard from some facilities that expirations can be as high as 10%. And then in addition, do you have the right temperature controls in place for specialty pharmaceuticals? And how much of your budget is tied into inventory? What can your inventory carrying costs be, or savings could be? So, and also, could you benefit from increased visibility of your pharmacy's inventory from anywhere, using the web-friendly cloud-based platform or mobile app? Just reminds me of the example I shared earlier regarding the time that can be saved by a pharmacist when they don't have to get up to go to the refrigerator to pull the product to see the assay size and lot number. So really balancing the hospital's bottom line while delivering quality patient care can seem like an overwhelming task. But there's one area of the organization that's well positioned to help identify cost savings opportunities and boost overall revenue and improve patient outcomes, and it's the pharmacy. So we'd like to continue to engage you and discuss consignment, and following this webinar, you will receive a 10-second survey. Please let us know if you'd like to be contacted by our team. Additionally, we're going to be at ASHP in December, and we'll be hosting one-on-one demos of our RFID-enabled cabinet program. So if you indicate that you'd like to receive a personalized demo or one-on-one on the survey, please indicate that, or feel free to contact us directly via email. And Mackenzie, I'll hand it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, John and James, for such a fantastic presentation. Now we will go ahead and begin today's question and answer session. Please submit any questions you have by typing them into your control panel in the space labeled Enter a Question for Staff and clicking Send. We'll try to get through as many questions as we have time for. And it looks like a lot of great questions are already rolling in. John, why don't I have you take the first question, which is, what is the biggest barrier you predict that will halt health system specialty pharmacy growth?
Great question, and it kind of makes me smile because the word predict, predictability, in the conversations that we have with, pharmacies all around the country, one of the big challenges is simply that, the predictability of what's coming to market, the inability to be able to predict for budget costs and those sorts of things. And of course, those increasing costs, issues around reimbursement, all of these things are key to growth and viability of specialty pharmacy. As these new products continue to get introduced into the market to address those, I think of them as those unique small patient population with really tough, rare disease states, cost and availability, and underscore the word access, I think will, at least in my mind and through conversations that we've had, will continue to challenge what we have in place for current infrastructures, I think.
Great, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that, John. The next question is, what is the pricing structure for consigned products? And James, why don't you take that one?
Sure, thanks. That's a great question, and it's typical. It's typically the first question that's answered. Or that's asked of us. And often, our customers are trying to figure out how consigning products fit within their budget, and that's always associated with what's the pricing look like. So, really, the pricing structure for consignment differs for each customer, and there are many factors that go into it. The first one, obviously would be usage. How many products are you considering for consignment? Is there interest in an RFID delivery system? And of course, any GPO contracts that may prevail. So, we will work with each customer individually to create a pricing structure that best fits them.
Great, thank you for elaborating on that. Another audience member wants to know, can consignment be applied to 340B products? And James, let me have you take that one as well.
Okay, thanks. The answer is yes, and really, our program provides for 340B split billing management for eligible products, and in fact, we were the first distributor to develop an approved process for managing 340B consigned inventory with Apexis. We understood it was a very highly sensitive product group, and we needed to properly account for that, and we worked with Apexis to come up with an approved process.
Perfect. Thank you so much, James. It looks like the next question is for you as well. What types of products are on consignment?
Okay, thank you. Really, the core products or the common products on our consignment program are plasma-derived products, and products such as anti-hemophilic factors. Other products are snake bite antivenoms, reversal agents, and other limited agents. Now, we are currently working on expanding our portfolio to include oncology and other limited distribution drugs that can be managed in an ambient setting using our cloud-based platform or our RFID solution.
Perfect. I think that's helpful for the audience to know. The next question is, does consignment work between inpatient and outpatient pharmacies? Do you want to take that one, James?
Yep, I'll take it. Sure. So, it does. And, basically, if the inpatient and outpatient pharmacies reside in the same facility, you can transfer or relocate products within the facility or network using a cloud-based platform called RFID. And we have a customer that has an RFID unit in the main pharmacy and another unit in the OR pharmacy, and products are routinely moved between RFID cabinets, and the inventory is managed by our cloud-based system RFID in real time. So this can also be done on the website or through our RFID mobile app.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So it looks like we have time for one more question. And John, let me turn to you for this one. How do I sell the value of consignment to my VP of pharmacy?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, let's think about it this way. First, you have to really understand present state what consignment can do for you today. All of these talking points that James went through on the slides that he presented give a real good indication that there is quite a value proposition that shores up consignment and the implementation of consignment in hospital pharmacies today and elsewhere, even in the non-acute world. The interesting thing is that there are financial considerations, there are operational considerations. On the financial side, just take as an example, you get one-time inventory savings. And that's important when you're talking about expansion of products and product portfolios that go into these different systems. Sure, consignment has been centered around, plasma derivatives, as James mentioned, most specifically around coagulation factors, that sort of thing. But when we look at where consignment can take us, and we look at those one-time savings, and we look at the expansion of the product portfolio, it gets pretty exciting. In the world of anti-neoplastics, and when we start to think about products that could exist in that ambient setting, that non-refrigeration setting, as James mentioned, that really gets interesting too. If you're interested in, track and trace, and of course that's a lot of hype, today around track and trace and the necessity and need for that. If you're looking to serialize down to the lowest lot number, and again, as was pointed out in the presentation, if you're looking to avoid obsolescence and from an operational point of view, remove a lot of those in-house redundant activities, I think consignment could be for you. So I think you have to take a look at your own environment. You have to take a look at all of these different, specific things that we've talked about, and we can help you with that. We can help you with doing an on-site assessment, and I'm more than pleased to do that.
Wonderful. Well, that is all the time that we have left for today. I want to thank James, John, and Cardinal Health for their excellent presentation, and to our audience for participating today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to having you join us for future webinars.